On episode 1, we talked about why is the gut important. In today's episode of Thank Gut It's Fixed, on episode 2, I want to talk about leaky gut. What does it really mean to have leaky gut? How do you know that you have it, and what causes that? Now, leaky gut, you may have heard this term, in online, or people just talking about it. So let me explain a little bit to you what that is. So you have an intestine, and if you just remember, here's your digestive system, and we have the stomach and the large intestine and the small intestine, and they are made of a single layer of cells. So these cells looks like something, oops, not this picture, they are just like a single layer of cells, and they're very thin, they're very fragile, but they have a very important job, or 3 things to do. They're going to let all the nutrients in, the vitamins, minerals, all the important things that your body needs. They are going to let the bad stuff out, which is the waste and the byproducts, and they are going to prevent the bad things, the toxins, the microbes, the bacteria, pathogens from coming in. So sounds simple, right? Like certain things in, certain things out, and other stuff like you stay away, you're not allowed to come in. While it seems very simple, it's actually a very intricate function and needs a very intricate anatomical structure. So any problems with that is going to cause problems. So for those of you, and if I was in a room with you, I will ask you to raise your hands. For those of you who think that the term leaky gut is a quack or fake medicine, I really want to prove you wrong. So there are a lot of studies. Here's 1, here's 2, and just do like a PubMed search oops, not this one. Just do a PubMed search. Here I have 3 articles for you, but do a PubMed search for the term intestinal permeability, and let me grit these things out, and you will find that there are a lot of research and evidence talking about intestinal permeability, and it's all recent research. Now there are some doctors and researchers have been talking about this since 2007, but a lot, like the rest of the medical and the research is catching up. So I get to say that I've been doing this for 5 years, so it's kind of cool that it's something I strongly believed in the beginning, and it's a story I will share later on, but not necessarily in the beginning. But there are several studies that are linking intestinal permeability, and something that is permeable is something that will allow things to pass through it, especially gas or liquid. So okay, that's exactly what's happening. And a lot of studies are linking intestinal permeability or leaky gut with conditions like irritable bowel disease, so IBS, which is having like stomach pain and bloating and gas, and you go to your doctor and they don't find anything with you, they tell you it's just IBS. That needs a whole episode on its own. Or inflammatory bowel disease like Crohn's or colitis, but they're also linking this to autoimmune conditions, type 1 diabetes, even obesity and metabolic syndrome, skin issues, food sensitivities and allergies. They're all getting now tied to the health of your gut and related to intestinal permeability. So yeah, it's not a quack or fake medicine anymore. So, or as some used to think about it. So let me explain to you the intestinal lining a little bit more in a different way, and I love talking about this. So think of your digestive system as a thin window screen, and that window screen is going to let fresh air come in. Like think of the spring, fresh air, and you've been cooking onions, so your house smells bad, and it's going to let the bad smells go out. This is the waste, and it's not going to let the bugs and the flies come in because they're gross and dirty and they're annoying. We're going to keep them out. But something happens, so you lean against the window by accident, or your son grabs a pen and decides to see what happens if you poke holes in that window screen, or whatever. That's other reasons that I'll talk about. But now you have holes in this screen, and what's going to happen now? Bugs are going to fly in, food is going to go in and out, and waste is going to go in and out. But now bugs are going to come in, and we don't want them in. They're not welcome in our house. So what are you going to do? You are going to get the spray, and you're just going to spray them because you just don't want them in there either. We don't want them. Same thing. That's what the body is going to do. 80% of your immune system is going to be waiting behind that window screen for anything that is not normal, anything that's foreign to come in, and they're going to start attacking it because they're not welcome. And 80% of your immune system, it makes sense. If you open up your intestine, it will be as large as a tennis court, and that's a large surface area. So then anything comes in. So you have microbes and foreign and bacteria and things that are not supposed to be there. Even food particles that are not properly digested. That's how food sensitivities happen. They get attacked by the immune system. And the immune system, sometimes it can be like an army without a general. They just start acting on their own, trying to fight different things, and then your whole system can get out of whack. And that's what happens when you have intestinal permeability or leaky gut. And you know, I like pictures, so I just want to show you this picture here in the one with the arrows. You see how things are going in and out, whereas the other one, things are just like solid, they're intact. And so another way to think of your intestinal lining as the cells are like attached to each other, and then things open up, and then and the wrong things pass through when we don't want them to pass through. So this is leaky gut. This is what it really means. And I hope you really got a visual from what I'm talking about. Now, why should you care? Honestly, you shouldn't. If you are feeling great and you have no health problems, this is really all boring. But if you are having health issues, and I'm assuming you're interested in this because there's something about your health that is bothering you, I want to share with you what some of the symptoms that can be related to leaky gut. So now I'm not saying leaky gut is the only cause for these symptoms, but the more of those you have, the more like checks that you put next to it, and that makes you just like think like, is this something that I really need to investigate? How much of that is affecting my health? And I truly, truly believe that the gut is the foundation of health. So when you have a healthy gut, you have a healthy body and immune system, and when you don't, a lot of things will go out of place. So some of the symptoms: if you have stomach pain, if you're bloated, constipated, or have diarrhea, that's one of the causes. If you feel foggy or that you can't focus anymore, if you feel like you're not yourself anymore, and I hear that from a lot of moms where they say, after my first child or second or third child, whatever that number is, I'm just not myself. I can't get up. I'm feeling really tired. I'm not motivated anymore. These are some of the things that can be related to the gut. Something like having skin rashes or eczema, fibromyalgia or muscle pain and joint pain can also be related. Migraines and headaches. They're linking now diabetes, type 1 and type 2, the metabolic syndrome, weight loss, as well to digest leaky gut issues. And autoimmune conditions is number one. And of course, because when that immune system is really fighting things that it shouldn't be fighting, it's like overacting, now it's going to start attacking your own cells and your own bodies, and you might end up with an autoimmune thyroid condition or autoimmune diabetes and so forth, and those will actually need another show on their own. So arthritis, rheumatoid arthritis especially, because that's an autoimmune, and joint pain. So these are just some of the things that the more of those that you check. So not just digestive, it doesn't have to be in your stomach, it's in your whole system, the way you think, the way you feel about your muscles, your joints, and all parts of your body. Now, just to you're wondering oh my God, what am I doing wrong? Why do I have this? Now, there is a little bit of a genetic component. I have to say that it is, but there is a lot that you can do with lifestyle. And some of the reasons why people have leaky gut can be infection. So you go travel to a trip and you come back with stomach flu, or even you're at home and you get stomach flu. That could be that teeny tiny trigger that starts all of the problem. Diet with too much sugar, or not enough nutrients, or not enough fiber, but also sometimes the wrong types of fiber can cause that. Antibiotics, you knew this, right? You knew antibiotics can cause disturbances in your gut, but not only that, but can also be acid blocking medications, or things like steroid or ibuprofen. It's too much of that can affect your gut. Medical conditions can predispose you, thyroid issues, and so they're all related. I said infections, and so they're all related, and you really want to make sure that you screen for all of those things to prevent this from happening. And if you're already in this place, there are things that you can do. Obviously, you just have to be aware and work be aware of what you need to be doing. So I hope I didn't really get too technical on you guys, but if you know, remember, anytime you see that window screen, this is what your gut from the inside looks like. And don't always wait to have stomach problems. It can affect other parts of your body. And there's a lot to talk about. So if you like this video, share it with a friend, or like it, give me a thumbs up, or write me a comment with your questions. And if you want to stay in touch and get to know a little bit about what I'm doing, or just make sure you get some insider information about the things that I do, you can go to my website, nourzebdeh.com, and subscribe to my emails there. Thanks for tuning in and for watching, and I will see you next time.